Oh, hi guys. It's been a considerable amount of time. I wanted to use the last few maybe hour or so of sunlight to start again, just get the show on the road really. For today, as you can probably tell by the title, I just want to go and do a quick run through of my Louis Vuitton Epi collection. Epi is one of my favorite leathers, if not my probably just is my favorite leather from Louis Vuitton. I think it's classy and always chic, especially in the classic colors. I always go for black, which you'll see in a moment. Um, and yeah, I think it's a leather and a material that is overlooked at Louis a lot, both by the clients and the brand itself. I think it's not utilized a lot for some good reason, but also I think it's great. I think it's, again, beautiful, classy, rich. It's a lot of things, but I love it. So why don't we just get the show on the road and show you let's start from the beginning with the very first Epi piece I ever got. I use this bag every single, 5 days a week at least, thank God. And it's my workhorse bag. It's literally my work bag. It is the Louis Vuitton sock plot in Epi leather, in black, obviously. Black with gold/brass hardware. And I love this bag. This was my dream work bag for quite a very long time. I got it about maybe a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago. It's definitely less practical than I would have liked. I kind of knew that going in, but I still love it nonetheless. For work, I have a 17-inch laptop, and this was one of the only bags that actually fit it. Now, granted, it doesn't actually fit fully. It does peek out the top a little bit when I'm carrying it around, but it's not a huge deal. Finding a bag that can carry a 17-inch laptop that isn't just the ugliest backpack, JanSport polyester nylon nightmare is hard. So being that this was my dream work bag forever and it fit the laptop was really all I needed to convince myself to finally take the plunge. You can't fit a ton in there, especially if you're putting something like a laptop in here. You probably won't be able to see a ton, other than some receipts and what else I have in here. Usually I do have my card holder in this little zip bag or zip pocket right there. But yeah, literally all I can ever fit in here day to day is just the laptop, card holder, some gum, a chapstick. Oh, there's where my other headphone went. I've been looking for that for days. Good to know. But yeah, really, as you can tell, this bag is not fitting a lot. I will say, however, if you have an Apple Watch and you kept your box for it, a great trick for this bag is that, I'm actually not going to take it out because it's a pain. Maybe I will. But if you take out, or if you have your Apple Watch box, I think this is, the lid of it makes literally the perfect bag liner. It's not obviously the full lining of the bag, but if you don't put anything at the bottom and if you try to stick something in like a laptop and it's a heavier bag or a heavier laptop or anything with weight in it, it is going to sag this bottom and make it stretch over time. So that's why as soon as I got this, I wanted to put something in the bottom, and I wasn't going to wait around for something to ship in the mail, so I looked around and I was like, do I have anything that I can just stick in there? And oddly enough, the lid of an Apple Watch box literally is a edge-to-edge, corner-to-corner perfect fit. So I've never even bothered getting something that's like officially made for that, because with the limited space in here, I really didn't want to get a full liner, take up even more real estate in here. So I figured, best of both worlds, it is free. It lines the bottom of the bag, so there's no sag even when I have my probably like 6-pound laptop in there. And yeah, it just works, and I love it. But again, limited real estate. People say Epi leather scratches really easily. Even when I got this bag, I noticed a few marks, but this bag I think is either very early, no, I think it's late 90s, or maybe it's like 94. I don't remember the date code on it. But I mean, it has its little wear and tear spots, but I think it still looks great. I usually treat it with leather care products like every 4 to 6 months. And yeah, I definitely beat the hell out of this bag. It slides around in my car all the time. And should I take better care of it? Absolutely. But sometimes after a long day, you're just, even if it's your dream bag, after a while, you're still just gonna plop it down somewhere. Again, I get it's impractical because you can't fit a ton. And then I actually have taken this out once or twice to like take my personal laptop to like the library or something. And you do feel a bit silly, kind of feeling like bringing a bag like this. It almost looks like a briefcase in a way, like on the train with you or just around the city. But what can you do? But yeah, that is the Epi sock plot. Love it. Some people might not. I know they have the mini version out right now. I don't like the mini. It's just, to me, that's even more impractical. Yeah, I guess it's a nice, crossbody, but if I'm getting a crossbody, to me, a crossbody is like truly utilitarian use, even if it's something as, precious as like a mini Kelly or something. Like, you still want it because it's going to hold your absolute necessities. It's going to close, it's going to lock, it's going to zip. You're going to be able to be hands-free and not worry about it, even if it's something as precious as that. So to make something like a sock plot that's, cumbersome, slim, small, open top with no closure, to me that just kind of loses its appeal to me when it goes to mini size. But the original, love her. Love that. Moving on, I think the next piece I got was this big boy, which is a Keepall 55 in Epi leather. Again, I think this one's the early 2000s piece, I believe. And this thing I love. I get so many compliments on this every time I travel with it. Almost every steward on a plane is like, nice bag, or that looks like an old, like, super classic doctor's bag, which I kind of agree with. And, I've only ever used this as a carry-on, not a checked bag. It's very precious to me. It's in almost perfect condition. It's got a scrape and a scuff here and there, but overall it's pretty great. When I first got this zipper, because I think this is probably the first designer bag that I got that had a zipper on it, and when I felt this, that was everything. I do keep it stuffed with some packing foam or whatever it's called, and then also I just keep my toiletry bag that I travel with in here, so that way when I'm ready to travel, I don't have to go looking for it. So there's that. So I do keep it stuffed, so it keeps its shape. Epi leather is pretty resilient and keeps its shape by itself, but I just don't want it to lose any sags or get saggy or have any creases running through it over time. Because this piece is so big. This piece is so big, and the stretches of leather are so big that I think that a crease would develop over time if you left it sagging for a while. Another thing I love about this bag, and all the Epi leather pieces I have, are the rolled handles. Another staple of Louis most of the time, but makes it a lot easier to carry in the airport. Some people go back and forth whether or not they like, designer pieces as carry-ons, or I would definitely never get a designer checked bag. Probably the furthest I would ever go is like a Rimowa or something, or even adjacent, because unless I literally have money to burn, I don't even know if I could deal with, the scuffs and scrapes that come with checked luggage on something like a Rimowa. But with a carry-on piece like this, I've been lucky so far. I've traveled with it 5 or 6 times, maybe more. Nothing's ever happened to it. On the last trip, actually, some lady tried to like shove it aside in the overhead bin so that she could fit her thing in there. But the flight attendant came over and was like, "Oh, that won't fit. You'll have to go over here, because her bag was enormous." But yeah, I've been lucky so far. Love this piece. If it's something you've been eyeing, I highly recommend. I do know that a YouTuber I follow, GPS, I am GPS. I've been obsessed with his videos lately and all his very in-depth Hermes knowledge. In his recent video, he was thinking about getting this exact bag as a gym bag, which that might be a little bit far for me. I don't know if I could ever bring myself to bring this to the gym. But hey, if that works for your lifestyle, 100% do it. I do think a 55 is a little bit big for a gym bag, because I have considered, getting another used key ball as a gym bag. But I would think a 45 maybe, but then again, also, even the 55 fills up quick. You would think you first get it and you're like, that's kind of a large piece, but given its shape, and the way it tapers at the top and everything, it fills up very quick. I mean, honestly, most I ever fit in here is probably like the toiletry bag I just showed you, another toiletry bag for like a small electronics, and like just chargers and things, and then a pair of shoes maybe that I don't want checked, and then probably out like 3 or 4 outfits, so like 4 pairs of shorts and 4 tops, or you're like, this truly is like a weekend bag, or an add-on to a checked bag. I don't think you're gonna get away with, unless you're super savvy, like a week travel bag with this, but yeah, it fills up fast, but I still love it. I have used it as my only checked, or my only carry. Take a shot every time I confuse checked with carry-on, good lord. But I have used that as a solo bag on a trip like that, in a backpack, and I'm done. And it's worked out great, and I love it. So yeah, that is the vintage Epi Keep Ball 55. So the next thing is a bag that, I mean, all of these, like I said, the sock plot I wanted for a long time. This bag I wanted for a long time, not quite as long as the sock plot. But next is my Epi Speedy 35, and here she is. This bag I do love, do not get me wrong, I do love it. I haven't been using it as much lately just because it doesn't suit my needs. I do find myself needing my personal laptop more often lately. So I can't carry that in here, unfortunately, even though it is a 13-inch. I do still love this bag. It also showed up in slightly worse condition than I thought it was. It's not horrid, but as you can see, it's not too bad. And I do love it. Again, a lot of people say this looks like a vintage doctor bag, which I kind of agree, and I like that statement. This bag I wanted because it had the silver hardware. It's very hard to find an Epi Speedy with silver hardware, although the zipper is fading a bit, so it's almost getting a brassy tone. But it is what it is. But you can really see it on the zipper line. There's like a big crease, and like just this whole area is like fading. If I had, again, money to burn, I'd probably replace it with one that was in better condition. I'll be honest, this one was about, with shipping and tax, I think it was like 500 USD as of like, I think it was like 8 months ago, maybe? I don't know, like I felt a little bit chipped when I received it, like, and the person, like, I haggled for the price too, because I was like, I don't think it's worth that much. And the person, like, let's say, I don't even remember what I did, but for instance, I said like, oh, take 75 off. They're like, oh, I'll take 25 off. I'm like, okay, you didn't want to meet in the middle at 50? Okay, I guess we'll play that game. So, talked him down a little bit, and I think it was like 500 with shipping and tax from Canada. So, not the worst. I do love this bag, but yeah, and it fits a lot. Like on day-to-day, it fits quite a bit. It really is kind of the answer to the sock plot for me, because obviously it's same material, different color hardware, but what the sock plot can't fit, I can fit in here. So and I don't really use them together, but for me, one of the biggest things is a sunglass case. I love sunglasses, which maybe I'll show you. I have quite a extensive collection of vintage Versace sunglasses, which I'd love to show you at some point. Fitting them in a bag of almost any size is always a struggle, and they usually take up a quarter of the bag itself. So this bag accommodates that, and obviously much more. So I do love the Speedy. I think that the Speedy is a gorgeous bag. It's a gorgeous silhouette. It's a classic silhouette, obviously. I do feel like it gets hate of recent years, just because I feel like people feel like Louis Vuitton is kind of resting on it, or maybe Pharrell is overusing it in his latest collections. I love the P9 Speedies. I want the green one. I want the green one, the beige one, probably just those two. If I could, I would really love those two, especially the green one. Green is my favorite color. If you can't tell, I literally just painted this wall over the last 2 days. Dark forest green, and I love it. I love it so much. So if I could ever get my hands on a P9 Speedy, probably a 40, in the green leather, I'd be over the moon. So I don't understand why people don't like them. I don't understand why people kind of don't like the Speedy. I don't know if it's just because it's the classic shape and people want new things, but I love it. I love what Super Jacob, if you are a fan of his, has to say about Louis Vuitton, you know, as a house, maybe, you know, their heritage, and of course the connections to Audrey. And if you want any kind of history lesson on Louis Vuitton or anything, just go and binge Super Jacob's videos. They are, I literally cannot count the hours I spent binging and rewatching his videos on everything Louis Vuitton. His Louis Vuitton collection, his monogram canvas collection is immaculate, and is kind of what inspired me to finally pull the trigger on this guy in specific, because when I was watching his videos is right around the time I bought this. But as we near wrapping up, we have one small thing, which is the newest addition to my Epi collection, and it's also the newest piece out of all of them because I got it brand new in the store. It is I think the only thing I've ever gotten from a Louis Vuitton boutique, and that is this Epi card holder. I don't know the exact name. If it has a specific name, like, you know, some things are bifold, trifold, or whatever. This could just be literally the card holder. I don't know. This stays with me every day. I do love it. It doesn't fit a lot, I will say. Even though it has slots for, I guess, 5 or 6 cards. I only have 3 in here, 2 on one side, 1 on the other, and it feels packed. And honestly, I would be cautious to add any more to it. I took all the cards out, so obviously for obvious reasons. But I took all the cards out, and the only thing in there right now is a $5 bill. But I would be cautious to overstuff it, because even as you can see, like, it's going to happen one way or another over time. But as you might be able to see, there is kind of a print line going around of where my card usually is in there. And again, I don't overstuff this thing. It's never in my pocket. It's always, like I said, in the zipper pocket of the Speedy. So there's almost no pressure, you know, condensing it to make that print. So the fact that there is that print, I don't want to say it worries me, because it is what it is. These, especially products like these, they're gonna get those markings and prints and dings or whatever. But just something to know if you're someone who likes card holders and stuffs them, that's something to be aware of, I think. But yeah, I do like this. It's functional, does what it is. Is it probably the most overpriced thing in my collection? Absolutely. But guess what? It was also one of, if not the cheapest things in the boutique, and it was my birthday, and it was pouring rain, and all my plans got ruined, and I was very, very angry. But my friend who was with me at the time just said, do it. It's what you deserve. It's what we all want you to do. So guess what? It came home with me. And I don't regret it. I love it. Again, the only piece I've ever gotten from Louis Vuitton boutique. Yeah, I do enjoy it. If I had to get rid of all of these Epi pieces and only keep one, it would probably be, it's this guy. It's the keep all. A, because it's the biggest bang for your buck. B, because when I take this out and I go somewhere with it on a plane or, walking through the airport, it just feels instantly luxurious. And that, again, going back to what Super Jacob has to say about the house, the roots in travel, if you really care about those sorts of things and let those ideas kind of seep into your brain, like me and many others, and just kind of feel the delusion of it all, when you're carrying this to the airport and you just like this bright, shiny, beautiful leather with just a hint of branding that no one else can see, I don't know, you just feel luxe. Maybe not as luxe at, 2 a.m. after, a 6-hour flight or, all the beautiful things that airports give us, But you know, on your departure flight, you'll feel great. And even though I don't get to use this as much as obviously my daily drivers like the Sockpot and the Speedy, this, every time I look at it, it reminds me of all the trips I've been on and all the ones I want to take, and it reminds me of, you know, airport lounges and travel, and again, the history of the house and just what it represents. So given that I think almost all of these, all the bags I think were in the $400 to $600 range, and then this guy I think was like $400, which yeah. So again, biggest bang for your buck, but again, I mean, some people hate the fact that this doesn't come with a strap, which I wish it did, but I mean, if I have to choose between what the leather keep all options are from Louis now and this to get a strap, I'd rather have this, especially considering this is like a quarter of the price. You're probably, no, I think the leather keep alls now are like $3,000, so what is that, like 1/6 the price? So this has my vote on all accounts. From then on, it would probably be the sock plot. The Speedy I do love. It would probably be higher if it was in better condition, but it is what it is. And that is my Louis Vuitton Epi collection. The only other piece that I have is a monogram Eclipse passport holder, which I could grab, but it's not here right now and I don't feel like going to get it. That I think is the only other Louis Vuitton piece I have in general. So the Epi really makes up the entire basis of my collection, and I love it. I wish Louis Vuitton would do more with it. What can you do? If they did, I could say I'd go broke, but I probably couldn't even afford it, so I wouldn't buy it, so I would just be having a huge FOMO, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that about wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.